It's Monday, the 31st of July, 2023. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes to kick off the week. Let's get going. Story number 1. The days of great deals from home lenders are over, with new home loan rates rising by more than the official interest rate, and fixed rate loans are shifting higher as well.
Yeah, you might not realise it, but home loan borrowers have had a great time of it in recent years. Ultra-low home loan rates, mostly because of the policy response to COVID, and incredibly aggressive competition in the marketplace. But obviously rates are rising, and new figures show that lenders have taken their foot off the competition accelerator, hoping to recoup profits. Home loan interest rates charged by the major banks to new borrowers are outpacing, so the increases in those are outpacing the increase in official cash rates, according to mortgage broker Finspo, as reported in the Financial Review. The country's largest 4 banks have lifted the rates offered to new customers by 32 basis points more than the official cash rate. 12 months ago, it was about 23 points below. The big 4 banks are also lifting fixed-rate mortgages, including 2 increases from National Australia Bank last week. According to Rate City, 1-year fixed-term loans are now somewhere between 6.49% at Westpac and 6.74% at Commonwealth Bank.
So tell me, is this all about profits?
I mean, in short, yes, but before we all start slamming the banks, until the past few months, some of the home loans being written just were unprofitable. The banks need to make money. They need to make financially sensible decisions around loans, and that's exactly what's happening now. Of course, all this news comes ahead of tomorrow's Reserve Bank board meeting, where there's little consensus around what's going to happen. Will the board of the Reserve Bank lift interest rates or not? Last week's weaker than expected inflation data may have tipped the balance towards the central bank staying on hold. No one's really sure though, Michael.
All right, on to story number 2 now, Sean. How about this? Little-known 42-year-old Melbourne cryptocurrency entrepreneur Russell Wilson has reaped most of the $700 million in dividends paid to shareholders of cryptocurrency firm CoinSpot in just 2 years.
Cryptocurrency exchange and broking private company CoinSpot, which sponsors AFL club Western Bulldogs, has made big profits that have mostly been paid out via dividends to several members of the Wilson family, headed by Russell Wilson. Documents lodged with the corporate regulator over the weekend and obtained by The Australian show CoinSpot has emerged from basically corporate obscurity to be one of Australia's most profitable private companies, and potentially put Wilson on a path towards being on the rich list. CoinSpot parent company Casey Block Services recorded a $292 million net profit off $503 million in revenue. That's like a profit margin of 58% last year. The previous year, it made $334 million. A total dividend of $336 million was paid in 2021, $282 last year. Massive amounts of dividends off these huge profit margins. Someone's making money from cryptos.
Yeah, certainly seems that way, Sean. On to story number 3. Global airlines are reporting big profits on the back of soaring ticket prices, and even a weak global economy can't seem to slow sales.
That's right. British Airways owner IAG said trips across the Atlantic and to leisure destinations had been particularly popular as customers prioritise holidays, while Air France KLM said high-spending holiday makers were filling business class cabins, according to a report in the Financial Times. The strong bookings defied a sharp rise in airfares, which are up about 30% in Europe this year. In the US, United reported a 42% increase in revenue from flights to Europe. Delta reported a 65% surge, and it's not just the airlines. Royal Caribbean, one of the world's largest cruise lines, last week said its business was firing on all cylinders because of exceptionally strong demand for cruises and a step change in bookings and prices.
Story number 4, micro gyms are apparently all the rage, Sean, in Singapore, with bright yellow containers that are a little bigger than a shipping crate, popping up all over the place for individual workouts.
Worth Googling this one. Each micro gym has a treadmill, weights and other equipment, and importantly, in Singapore particularly, they're air-conditioned. Users book via an app, and there are now around 60 locations across Singapore. They've just pushed into the US. There's a couple in Chicago. Also, they're looking at California, New York, and Florida. A 60-minute session in Singapore costs around 15 Aussie dollars, not too expensive. The companies running the micro gyms are startups, and the largest, a place called GymPod, has 120,000 registered users. I reckon it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's quite nifty, really. All right, last one. Story number 5, Sean. Subway, the fast food group, is running a mega promotion in August. You can win free sandwiches for life, but only if you commit to legally changing your first name to Subway.
The chain will choose a winner and pay that person's legal fees to assume a new iconic identity. Subway is one of the world's largest quick service restaurant chains with about 37,000 franchise-run locations in more than 100 countries. It's the biggest fast food outlet in Australia. It's worth about $10 billion globally, Subway, but it's actually fallen back a bit. It got a new CEO in 2019 and embarked on a turnaround plan, including upgrades to its restaurant's menu and digital offerings. According to Subway, the changes are working. The company surveyed guests, and the guests, i.e. the customers, described the brand as updated, energetic and innovative. Something must be going right. Same-store sales last year jumped 12%.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Monday, the 31st of July, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't long enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. And that comes with a bunch of interviews as well. Today's interview is a great one for investors. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.